The glass doors slid open with a quiet, polished whisper, and the man hesitated for just a moment before stepping inside. His worn shoes paused on the glossy marble floor as if they didn't quite belong there. Neither, it seemed, did he. He adjusted the small hand wrapped tightly around his own. His daughter, no older than 6, looked up at him with wide, curious eyes that reflected the glittering chandeliers above. Her dress was simple, slightly faded, but clean. She clutched a tiny fabric purse to her chest like it held something precious. The store was silent for half a second, then came the murmurs. A few customers glanced over, their eyes scanning the man from head to toe. His shirt was neatly pressed but old, his jacket clearly second-hand. His face carried the exhaustion of someone who worked long hours and slept very little. A saleswoman near the entrance exchanged a look with her colleague and smirked. "Can I help you?" she asked, though her tone suggested the opposite. The man nodded politely. "Yes, I'm looking for a dress for my daughter." The girl's fingers tightened around his hand, but her eyes sparkled with hope. The saleswoman's smile thinned. "Our items are quite expensive." "I understand," he replied calmly. A couple nearby chuckled under their breath. "Maybe try the mall across the street," another employee added, not even attempting to hide her amusement. The man didn't respond immediately. Instead, he crouched down to his daughter's level. "Which one do you like?" he asked softly. The girl hesitated, then pointed toward a mannequin dressed in a beautiful, pale blue dress. It shimmered under the lights, delicate and elegant, something out of a fairy tale. The laughter grew louder this time. "That dress costs more than his monthly salary," someone whispered. "Or maybe his yearly salary," another added. The girl lowered her hand, her cheeks turning pink. "It's okay, Papa," she murmured. "We can go." But the man gently shook his head. "You like it?" She nodded, barely. "Then let's at least look at it properly." He stood up and approached the display. The saleswoman sighed dramatically but walked over anyway. "That dress is imported," she said sharply. "It's not something people just try on for fun." "I'm not here for fun," the man replied. Another ripple of laughter spread through the store. "Do you even know the price?" a customer called out. The man met her gaze, calm and steady. "Yes." "Then you must be dreaming," she scoffed. The daughter looked up at him again, her small voice barely audible. "Papa, it's too much, right?" He knelt beside her once more, his expression softening. "Do you remember what today is?" She nodded slowly. "Mama's birthday." "And what did we promise her?" he asked. "That I would wear a pretty dress when we visit her," the girl whispered, her voice trembling. The man smiled gently. "Exactly." The store fell quieter, not silent, but the laughter lost some of its edge. Still, the saleswoman crossed her arms. "If you can't afford it, you shouldn't be wasting our time." Before the man could respond, a voice came from the back of the store. "That's enough." The tone was firm, calm, and carried an authority that instantly changed the atmosphere. Everyone turned. A well-dressed older man stepped forward, his presence commanding yet composed. He looked at the scene, at the father, the child, the employees, and the customers, and his expression hardened. "What seems to be the problem?" he asked. The saleswoman quickly straightened. "Sir, this gentleman is asking to see one of our premium dresses." "And that's a problem?" the older man asked. "Well," she hesitated, "it's just that." "I didn't ask for your assumptions," he interrupted quietly. The store fell completely silent now. The older man walked closer, his gaze shifting to the father. For a brief moment, something flickered in his eyes, recognition, perhaps, or memory. "Sir," he said respectfully, "you're welcome here. Please. Take your time." The father nodded. Thank you. The owner then turned to the saleswoman. Bring the dress. She froze. But. Now. Reluctantly, she moved to retrieve it. As the delicate blue dress was brought forward, the little girl's eyes widened in disbelief. She reached out carefully, almost afraid to touch it. Would you like to try it on? The owner asked gently. The girl looked at her father, who smiled. Go ahead. Moments later, she emerged from the fitting room, the dress flowing softly around her. It was slightly big, but to her, it didn't matter. She looked like she had stepped out of a dream. The entire store watched in silence. The father's eyes glistened, but he smiled. You look beautiful. The girl beamed. The owner nodded approvingly. It suits her. Then he turned to the staff. Wrap it. The saleswoman blinked. Sir, the payment. I'll handle it. The father immediately shook his head. No, I can pay. The owner met his gaze again, this time with a faint smile. I know you can. The room seemed to hold its breath. But today, the owner continued, allow me. The father hesitated. I don't accept charity. This isn't charity, the owner replied. It's respect. The two men stood there, understanding passing between them in silence. Finally, the father nodded once. Thank you. As the dress was carefully packed, the earlier laughter had completely vanished. The same customers who had mocked him now avoided eye contact. The owner watched them quietly, then spoke, not loudly, but clearly enough for everyone to hear. Luxury isn't defined by price tags, he said. It's defined by how we treat people. No one responded. The father took the package and held his daughter's hand again. As they walked toward the exit, the little girl looked back once, her smile bright and unburdened. Thank you, she said softly. Thank you, she said softly. The owner inclined his head. Take care. The doors slid open once more, and they stepped out into the world. Beyond the glass. Inside the store, the silence lingered. And for the first time, it wasn't uncomfortable, it was thoughtful.